And good evening, everyone. I have returned for the third time today. Welcome to another episode of Holotheatre. As always, I am Dane Tartaglione, better known as D Tartag One. Joining me on this Wednesday evening is the sheriff himself, Mr. Anthony Batmouse Howard. How you
Right.
doing? How you
I'm
doing,
doing good.
Batmouse? You doing good?
I'm doing I'm doing good.
You're doing
Let's
good.
I'm doing real good.
And the joining us tonight is a fellow SoCal uh, champion player, wonderful person, Ryan Jelson. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. You might hear the baby in the background, but I'm doing good.
That's
Such a
okay.
cute baby.
I was gonna say we have Batmouse.
Wah, wah, wah.
So, got an exciting show for everybody tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jawa Cup. We got some talk. We're going to talk a little the Outrider Cup as well, and then we have a few announcements to talk about. Some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline and everything regarding some tournaments, and hopefully some interesting prizes, maybe too. But first, let's start with Ryan and the Jawa Cup. So, first of all, congrats on making the top four.
Thank you.
So, how does it feel to go into the Jawa Cup knowing that you are in the top four and everything? So, like you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, but technically, usually when I play, I'm always playing Java Cup because I play weird stuff. So it really only affects my opponents.
I mean, you have like had a career of interesting decks. Like I know we've seen like you have a take of like ISB where it's not your normal ISB. You don't play Big Blue. You play what like matching starships
Captain
and
Jonas,
Captain Jonas. Yeah.
there's the Captain Jonas to Kashyyyk turn one, usually special. There, I also played Thai Scouts and Outer Rim Scouts on the
Mm-hmm.
Constellation, and that was very frustrating to all the community players. Yeah, there's stuff like that. I played Agents in the Courts at Worlds and went 3-1, and then I played Hitco in the Constellation and went 3-0. So
So how
yeah,
did you do in the constellation?
well, I was second to because on the strength of schedule there. If I won out, I would have won, but I ran into the one no idea.
Yeah,
Uh, who played No
but
We were
Idea?
both 5-1. Of course, I did win our match, so I don't know. Whereas you were playing my deck, so I don't know what that says.
So what I'm hearing is, so for those who don't know, don't you build all of Batmouse's decks?
No, he did come up with that mall special that he's been winning with. The droid racks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the one with Imperial Decree and Maul sitting there at his chambers. That one was and it has Abyss in it, so that's about my special.
yeah, it's a Batman special.
But when I
Ryan doesn't
say
like
Shadow
Abyss.
Collective. I think I've had you hit Co before in OA and other things. Yeah,
so,
Ryan has a history of handing me decks and then letting me go win events with them.
so my question though is like, so, but from what I understand and what I remember is, you supply him with the cards.
yeah, pretty much. Also, his QMC is a little different than mine. We still do the lift tube
Mm-hmm.
Grogu jank, but I'm not as big into home one, trying to get home one out as he is. He's more. I just think it's too fragile, but it seemed to be working for him.
Yeah, it worked. It worked pretty well.
So shouldn't you have like a piece of the trophy then?
We have matching T-shirts, so it's good enough.
You have matching
We have
T-shirts.
yeah, we got matching T-shirts because I won. He finished in second.
So we do
So
have matching. We have matching with the Inquisitor T-shirt.
yeah, matching Inquisitor T-shirts. Team, keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys. So I know you guys paired off in the team tournament, because like I know originally Batmouse, you were going to team up with myself or Brad Reinhold, but then you realized that Ryan was going to be there at Worlds, and you were like, well, I need to work with my Star Wars wife.
Yeah.
That's my
Like
Star Wars wife.
I
what?
think I should have had you watch your step in that team event. It was just I love watch your step, but it has so many bad matchups right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we I mean, there's a couple other decks that because we were close like all of our matches were close.
Oops, but I shouldn't have. Yeah, we should have just done Hitco and did something mindless.
Yeah.
So again, let's talk about the Java Cup though. So,
Yeah.
what did you play to get to the top 8? You said you
For
you play like
round
weird stuff though, but what'd you play?
round one, I pretty much played my Agents Court Worlds deck, and it ended up my opponent flipped Entanglements. That was the game where they went down to spread and did occupation, and I ended up he had barrier, a Gick, and a stormtrooper patrol, and ended up taking overflow because I fought him in 3 different sites
That would do it.
and the sense. So that was just, then he was behind, and it just, that's a terrible matchup for entanglements because there's so many Tatooine sites on the table. It's almost like it's impossible. Then round 2, I just usually, if I don't know what to do for dark side in those type of events, I just default to Endor Ops, and that was the game where my opponent was playing, I think, Obi-Wan Communing. I think this is how this went.
Okay.
And I set up Saber 3 and Ozzel and Pete at the docking bay turn 1, set up 4 damage and said go. And that's just kind of how it went. Because I don't know why more people don't play that version of Endor Ops, in that it actually works better when they don't give you any force icons, because then you don't accidentally activate a piece you need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard when you set up 4 damage and give them 1 icon.
Okay.
So that's just kind of how that game went. And then there was one big space battle in which Ray, I think on the Tantive, got like slammed by Vader, Saber 3, and General Pride on Slave 1. It was like, I'll draw 3 destinies and reduce his destiny to 0 kind of thing. So that happened. The other one. So I did play a terrible hidden base against my team partner, is Invasion, because I keep trying to make smugglers and hidden base work, and it just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But since it was against Adam, I was like, it's an experiment. Let's see what happens. And I did shoot down the blockade flagship, but there's too many. Invasion has too many battleground sites because you can't cancel two.
Yeah.
And I think I got Tate Howe. No, Tate Howe didn't go off in that game. No, it was Maul, just trying to get rid of Maul and his Sith Infiltrator. Yeah, got me. The last round, I did play that let the Wookiee win Anakin effects deck. It's only playable in Jawa because Bring Before Me is not a deck in the format.
Interesting. So it's the one with what you play Jedi Knight Anakin?
Well, you're playing a bunch of Twix pullers, but you're playing the Anakin effect that gets you Anakin's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
So now and it also lets you redraw your Anakins. And then I'm playing 5. This is pod racings and it pulls the site that pulls 3PO. So so it's a deck in which you can play multiple battlegrounds. I've experimented with playing the nightclub and the battle planes, but there's almost no matchup where you need 2. So basically, you're just playing. You're doing a force choke because you have Luke that you pay, and you're starting battle plan and draw the fire. So it's just like that game against the same thing where they just don't have any cards in their hand because they have to pay for everything. Gold leader, and the space is pretty good because I'm actually playing 5 shifts. So it was also, in case of set your course for Alderaan, you get if you get Profundity out and stack it up, there's nothing they can do about it. And it's a deck like it pulls, instead of running 2 3PO pullers, what you're really doing is you're running 5 3PO pullers. Because they're using 5 that pull the site.
Mm-hmm. And the site pulls 3PO.
In the site pulls 3PO.
Oh, and and the last round, that one, I felt bad because I opening handed every Twix. It was just a gimp, and he was playing Dark Deal, and and I also run 2 occupation cancelers because the new Endor celebration is so good. It has like 8 things or something.
I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, the Endor celebration was needed because it makes it a little bit better, but I think it just does too much right now.
Maybe just one too many things, but I do like the fact that undercover hate and occupation hate's on the same card now. Yeah.
I like the undercover hate, but I would prefer it be in the move phase like every other
Yes.
No,
undercover spy thing.
25 years of U3PO is enough. I don't care that it kills them. Whatever. The bad part is I did discover that O switch off does cancel
Yes.
breaking the cover. So it actually is kind of an interesting, there's an interesting.
It really hurts Arica more than it hurts U3PO.
Yeah.
Arica has no protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sense, but
yeah. So the other invasion, I think now that the new set's out, it's almost minded. I really like Invasion.
mm-hmm.
I think it's gotten to the point where it's tier 1, and
really,
it's to me because the one I was playing that was against Bill. You
oh yeah,
it's a Diplo. I don't play sabers, but I am playing like 2 Dooku's and 2 Force Lightnings. That's like where when Jared we're doing the Prophet matchup, and like Han just kept getting Force Lightning, and the new BB-9E droid works with the group of battle droids. That's really hard to attack into. You stack that, so there's one of their sides.
Deploy +4.
Yeah, and it's like, drawn. And against modern light side decks, you can get so many interrupts placed out of play.
Yeah.
As long as and with way back in the day, Kevin Shannon used to play Invasion. The amount of like tap maul and other garbage he had to put on the Black Gate flagship to survive, and now, with Admiral French and just a little bit, and the invisible hand didn't exist back then. It's like so much easier to stay alive in space.
Yeah, I know that was like one of the bigger problems, and then we had the virtual Dauphine that was made.
Yeah, and that was when medium transport was a thing. And, yeah, it was so much harder. And these days, especially now with Republic insurrection or imperialist, what we're going to call it, and your guys forfeit for more, and it's so much easier to, like in our game, we just stared at each other, and I'm fine like just staring as long as I flip.
Yeah. And I mean, I noticed like yesterday when Adam played, he played like Invasion as well, and it was funny because like he played WAP and then Invasion, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know he had like a lot of issues going down with the holding the Theed Palace throne room.
Yep.
Did you have any issues with that?
No, because the other thing to remember is they have to control it, and so I always play battle plan combo in mind to make sure that, again, and then with Naboovi they don't have enough cards to stack up. So if they win a battle, they have to have a guy there still and clear you. And with Wat Tambor now and the B2, and O switch offs, and it's hard to, and especially if you like, I think in the last round I had like Maul with Phantom Menace there, and once he's there, it's really hard for Jedi to get rid of him. And playing double and balance combo plus crush means no tricks for light side, and 2 force fields. So you're just like, it's kind of a wall they slam into, and then you're always drawing 2 if unable to otherwise, because you always have a B2 there.
That makes sense.
And it just, they're going to lose. The B2s are your engine, because they lose a guy in most decks. Light's going to lose a guy or 2, and you go back to the racks, and because no mains decks is playing the combo to get rid of B2s, because they're not running any space. There's a lot of damage.
Starship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Stack kills anything just stacked on droid ramp.
Yeah. No, I mean
I think it's a good
makes
card in
sense.
the meta now, but
yeah.
Now you say it.
B2 battle droids on droid racks. That's
Yeah,
Silly.
it's so much more efficient than running out those terrible security droids or
oh yeah, oh yeah.
that garbage.
So let's talk about your top 8 match against Bill Kafer. So
Sure.
you were you the higher seed or the lowest seed going into
I was
that?
the lower seed. I was 6 seed. We're both 5-1, but strength of schedule wise, he was
Yeah,
higher.
it was kind of weird. Like I
Trevor
looked at.
was 5-1. I don't really the seeding in that didn't really matter because we're all just 5-1.
Well, I mean, Adam was 6-0.
Okay, he was 6-0. Yeah, he's the one. Everyone else,
Yeah.
it was kind of whatever.
So he decided to play Darkseid first, and going into it, you said that you and your team put him on ROPS. Were you
Yeah.
thinking like anything else for him, or was it just straight?
No, I was going to
ROPS?
play the same deck. I thought he might audible to like the set your course for Alderaan deck, just because that's kind of it looks like the new hotness, and because if you don't aren't equipped to deal with that deck, you can be run over, and there isn't. Yeah, if all you're relying is on BB-8, Rose, and Ray, you can get run over in that thing. So we play tested that matchup a bit too, and I felt pretty comfortable winning that one, just because I had 5 ships, and it was really yeah, and I was hoping he didn't realize I had multiple senses.
Okay.
So that was actually the I think the kicker is just making sure you don't give up a verify and let them know that you have multiple senses. Because if you can sense the in range or whatever, and again, like I was like, command fine, alter Tarkin's bounty. Yeah, I was playing. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember you altering Tarkin's bounty, and I was just like, what is he doing? Oh, that
that
makes
is
sense.
it is one of my favorite things because it totally messes up the whole turn.
Yeah, I feel like somebody who made that card should have made it immune to alter.
Yeah, I know you didn't, so
I know.
no, it really just throws people off too, and it usually puts not so much on tilt, but just like, oh, you're trying to put something together, and now you
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah, you take away the key piece that they're looking for, and now
Yeah.
they're, now it's time to make a new plan.
Mhm.
And plans are great until you get punched in the face.
Yeah, Alter V is another card that I feel is criminally underplayed for both sides.
So yeah, and
Agreed.
yeah, I agree with that. Like a lot of dark side decks, it seems like do run all these effects now that are not immune to alter. I mean, we see Dark
Yeah.
Deal running the the Executor effect, and if you can alter that, there goes their entire turn.
No, in my round 6 matchup, I also altered Tarkin's bounty, and I had solo out, and he didn't pull the shield. So then he put down the expand the empire, and I altered that too. And so I think it just went into the spiral after that.
Wow. I hate to say this. I'm glad I didn't
Back
play
to back.
against you. I mean, I was in a bad spot like most of the games.
Yeah.
I didn't care, but still, that's just rough.
Yeah.
Like, did you feel dirty or anything about that?
Uh, it's oppressive enforcement does exist, but again, kind of like if sense and alter is rough to guard against for light side now because I don't think Huntdown's that good. It has so many bad matchups, and then you have okay, I want to play grabber, I want to play aim, I want to play there's so many other
Coward
shields,
and
yeah,
code clearance.
and code put you, and then the free ray on the shit. There's a lot of things like people want to do, and then sorry, now you got to do sense and alter too.
Yeah.
So you ended up beating Bill in game 1.
Yeah.
I believe it was by like
23.
23. So going into game 2, were you thinking about just focusing on what you were going to play, or did you put him on Diplo at all?
I didn't even have a clue what he was going to play. I just thought Invasion was tier 1 after they let me make all those cards for it, so I was going to play it.
Okay. So hold on.
Play the cards you make.
So you made all these cards for Invasion, correct?
Yeah.
So you made Naboo.
The Wat Tambor Republic. Yeah, it took a while to get like a Republic IAO for both sides, but I think it turned out rather well. I mean, it seems strong.
I was gonna say, like, the light side still feels like it's a little stronger to me, at least, because you can, first of all, you can pull any docking bay. You're not just limited to Coruscant or Episode One docking bays.
Well, like in this one, I only put one anyway.
Hmm.
It's I because I don't know. You never want to play more than 7 locations in any deck, and in this, you're already pulling the 3/2, the 2/2, and the throne room, and
Hmm.
with Naboo, you just already and with the Naboo, you're just already activating so much. It doesn't. You're not gonna pull more, and
True.
it's it's really the forfeit bonus on all the scrubby Nemodians and
Yeah.
and yeah, and also like the blockade support ship now covers 14. Like it's real good.
It covers 14.
Well, 5 power and 9 forfeit.
Oh,
So like
okay.
swings, like if they're trying to overpower you, it's not happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have you to thank for all this new invasion funness, huh?
Like everybody on design helped, but I was probably the one pushing it the most because I did miss invasion.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has the things they like to play, and just like the Clone Wars, getting all the clones and
Hmm.
bringing back Plo Koon Starfighter and all that. It's just I do think WAP's in an interesting place right now where we don't know what the number one build is because for so long I was just copying Johnny Chu's WAP, and
Yeah.
now I think there's more possibilities.
I do tend to agree with you, and we do see a lot of those. I think WAP's biggest issue is for the longest time, map has been one of the predominant decks, and
Yeah,
you really don't have a counter for map. But now that map has been taken down a peg a little bit,
yeah.
like I think WAP has a possibility, but I still think it needs something else. Like it still takes what, like 2-3 turns to even try to flip,
Yeah.
unless they.
Two, if you're doing well, or if you just opening handed Kit Fisto, that's always a hilarious
True.
interaction. But no, map it does make make it difficult because you do kind of have to run two Chewy with bowcasters always usually in my opinion, and then
Yeah.
you hide it in the throne room. That's what I usually do, but you do miss out on Rose and General Light. You did the easy retrieval of resistance decks, so you miss out on that.
Yeah, and that seems like right now with Legend being back in the meta, it seems like Legend is they have access to all that easy retrieval.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like we do need like Legend in the meta, but do we need to have the same? It feels like Legend is almost like every Legend's almost going to be the same now. Still,
I think there's room for creativity in it.
yeah.
I wasn't happy with the way Be With Me turned out. I mean, it's about the most thematic in capturing episode 9.
Hmm.
Um, and did you ever on Hall go over like what each line actually who it's from and why it's there on the card? Because there's a reason for it.
Mm-mm. I don't think we have. Like I remember we spoiled the cards and everything,
Yeah.
but I don't think
Yeah,
we
I don't
went
think he
through the
told
card.
like why because like the line is one of those from Mace Windu, the one that like characters don't have battle destiny. And that's because it's Mace Windu's line. And I
Okay.
thought that was a little clever way. He's also neuters no Solo, no Hera, no Lando for you
Yeah.
either. So it is kind of, I think this makes it for an interesting twist and kind of brings back, okay, interrupt battle destiny adders might be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad that we don't have that restriction now with Jedi Ray, because once they errated Legend, I was like,
Yeah.
my biggest thing was, oh well, now you can't really run Jedi Ray. That's not what the deck is supposed to be. So
Yeah.
now we have the epic event now that feels like it's almost a souped up version of an effect. Like you,
It is. But it
like
is supposed to be. It is epic in the fact that it's the culmination of episode 9, the whole sequel trilogy, anyway.
mhm.
So it is kind of. I actually kind of prefer it this way without having to do a separate episode 8 and episode 9 objective because that's objective. Flooding the meta with new decks is always kind of problematic. That's kind of what happened with Legacy. Is then things get abandoned, or things get too complicated.
Yeah. Like
Too
how
many
many?
decks.
I was gonna say like throughout the legacy, we had so many different objectives that were a lot worse in terms of the power curve. Like when Watcher Step V first came out, it was insane.
Are you
Like
talking about the broken one that was immediately rotted, or the what we
yeah,
eventually settled on?
the
Are you talking
broken
about
one.
the blaster one that
Yeah.
retrieved every time you shot with the blaster?
Well, like I remember when musicians first came out.
Oh, okay, yeah, broken musicians. That
Broken
was.
musicians. Like I went to Yavin
Musical
4.
DBO.
Yeah, I went to Yavin 4
Don't get
regionals with
started on
that, and I didn't lose a single game.
Yeah, musicians. Well, the what was it? Tuscan Breath Mask before it was eroded was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Didn't it work in every battle?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, people we've learned some lessons.
And that's the one nice thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I do give the design team a lot of crap, especially the advocate.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I applaud them is that they're willing to look at the past mistakes and correct them. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like learning a new meta with erratas and everything can get annoying, and it is annoying, especially when they're new.
Yep.
But I would rather go through the process, get it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I will say, like, I'm glad that we have a playtesting team that is working so diligently, because without them, we might be erratating stuff like even more.
Yeah. Yeah. And we haven't gone through a mass. We've had a tweak set. Kind of want to do another tweak set, but not for tweaking things down, more tweaking some abandoned ideas up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just because Decipher would always just print random helpers or combo cards together, because there's a lot of player cards that maybe were released at too low power level that would be kind of fun to tweak up.
Yeah, I know one.
We haven't actually had the problem of having to reset because we don't have like broken ATRTs or spice clouds or slavers or anything like that. Scoundrels wasn't very good.
No.
Well,
I had lots of success with it.
oh yeah,
They
it
were
was
fun.
fun. It was fun, but you always felt like you were losing no matter how you were doing, because on turn 2 you only had like 15 cards left in your deck, and they hadn't even done any damage to it, because you put the whole deck to the table, and then you're like, wait,
and then build from there.
I was gonna say, like, Dorsch in the chat is first wonderful. Dorsch is saying, like, first of all, he's like, give us some splashable space. I mean, I can see that, like, in different stuff, but I do agree.
Which faction?
Yeah, that's my question, Mike. What faction are you looking for? But I do agree, the whole build a Vader deck was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was weird, but it was fun.
It didn't work, but it was funny. Splashable space, we still have so many thematic elements we haven't finished. It's the Republic fleet from Last Jedi, Blue Leader, from Rogue One. I mean, there's 1,000,001. It's like we're not lacking for thematic elements. What it is we only have so much playtesting and GAMP development and graphics, and we're not lacking in ideas. We're lacking in volunteer time. Yes,
I agree. So like I know like one of the big things that I've been wanting is we haven't really explored the Attack of the Clones. We kind of dabbled in like some of the elements of Revenge of the Sith, but again, that's some of the stuff we haven't delved into. Like we haven't delved into the Clone Wars, with the exception of like Ventress and Ahsoka and all that. Like there's a lot of stuff we can get into, but like you said, there's just not enough people. We're not like Wizards of the Coast who can just shell out everything.
We really give graphics a run for their money. I mean, look how many like custom images they had to do last time.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. So you're on design. Is there anything you could tell us that's upcoming?
It depends on how many of crazy ideas Chris allows through. I mean, I guess what I would say is if you were thinking, why haven't they made X character yet? Sometimes it just the right fit doesn't make it yet. Because we probably have a thread for every character in Star Wars. Like poor Unkar Plutt has had I don't know how many versions since that 4 and hasn't just made it out yet. But maybe since everyone hates Rose and BB-8, he'll finally make it out of the design development. It just uh, yeah, and we are looking always to help more tier 3 decks. I personally, I don't speak for myself, but trying to get hyperdrive, hunt down V back to something interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we had first Q the Princess V, and like what? It came out 2 sets ago or 1 set ago?
It's 2 sets ago. No, we're definitely talking about Rescue the Princess. I mean, I would say the only thing we're probably not talking about is DBO because, that was actually, it was on the table way back in set 3, I think, DBO. The problem is in making some sort of squadron deck, but we really will have to just redo DBO because our ROPS and DBO can't really coexist as top tier decks at the same time because then you get a staring contest. If My Kind of Scum hasn't made an appearance in a very long time.
Yeah.
I would say pretty much everything is on the table except
Lightside Senate.
Well, they got Lightside Senate did get the Docking Bay Republic Docking Bay puller. Like,
forfeit
senators now are like forfeit $1 million. So,
okay. Senators are forfeit $1 million. Okay, that's still, but like I know Robbie is sitting in Texas right now, chomping at the bit for something for Lightside Senate. Give the boys something.
Lightside Senate. Well, see, the thing is that Darkside Senate would get help before Lightside Senate because you still have the old Sidious Senate, and you have like evil Mazameda. You have a whole bunch of dark side stuff that would probably come up before light side stuff because light side is up 1 effect. How we just had it. Okay. We haven't forgot about Senate because we had a new senator, come out.
Yeah.
We got that for Dark Side Senate. So, and also I saw like unlimited power with the works, and then it's a kind of a cool.
That's very fun.
That's
very fun.
The problem is there's not a lot of light side senator characters left because we've added Bale and we've added Mon Mothma. There's not a lot.
Senator Jar Jar.
There is a Senator Jar Jar.
There is a Senator Jar Jar.
You could do Senator Jar Jar. Yeah, that is true. I guess that leads to one thing we're also looking at is trying to reduce the cost of in-person play by making as many cheap versions as possible. One of my goals is to make it easier to play Agents of the Black Sun in person. So we'll see if that happens.
Oh, okay. So I know that we rely on the Emperor for Agents of the Black Sun, but if we get like a new Agents of the Black Sun type of Emperor, maybe.
Well, there's 2 versions. There's always Reflections 2 Emperor, making him playable, and Mistral. So we have everything's on the table.
I like that. I like that you. So
that's good.
Now, is design willing to listen to the peons of the group for ideas?
Yeah. It's not okay. I would say we always welcome feedback, and I would say the hardest part of design is not what decks to buff or which thematic elements to do. It's more creating new mechanics because we spend way more time trying to think of like a Tarful or something like, okay, this guy does something because how many characters we have now? And now you're like, okay, there's only so many ways to manipulate numbers. You can't just say add a battle vesting on guys anymore.
Yeah.
So everyone has to create new things. Like I'm really hoping Ben Rao and Brief Karga, they're pretty creative, I think. They're currently sitting there. Like there's a lot of from the Mandalorian. Grief Karga is the
Grief Karga. I'm trying to think of who Fen Rao is.
Did you ever watch the Clone Wars or Rebels?
Fen Fenral.
He's Mandalorian. He's
Yeah,
the
he's
head of
the
the actors.
yeah evil.
Well, he joins what's her name? Sabine. When she becomes like head of the man, because we're doing a bunch of Mandalorian.
Oh, okay. Now I got you.
Good guy Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, well, we're doing a lot of Mandalorian stuff. Obviously, I got Bo-Katan and Gar Saxon made last night. You know.
Yeah. Like
But that's what
I
I
will
mean.
say, like those are two good images for anything.
Oh, I know those were great images, but they always, if people have created like, hey, here's this card mechanic that would be cool that we don't have, like, sure. Because dream cards aren't really like viewed anymore, but yeah, that's always the hardest part of design is trying to think of brand new mechanics that are interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But I think we are also getting a little bit more flexible on doing crazy, like deploy forfeit ratios or messing with stats and making guys who maybe don't have as much game text as stats.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's always a thing you can do is, okay, this guy has his stats or typing, you know, as characteristics, but doesn't like have hardly any game text.
Okay.
You know, like,
I like how we have maintenance on what's his face, the guy from The Mandalorian. You know how I'm talking about. We have like fake maintenance on him.
Berg is actually it's fake maintenance because he's supposed to be my kind of scum helper.
Yeah.
In that you can use him as your rep, and then he'll send himself to the use pile. That was intentional.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. Like,
it's thematic in that he's a mercenary. It was like the idea was like, okay, so we picked it. Like, okay, Labria looks just like, I mean, it just looks like him from the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we can virtualize him. What should he do? Then it's like, okay, well, what can he fit in? Well, he can fit in my kind of scum as a mercenary, and he can just cycle himself.
Oh, that's a good idea. Like stuff like that is kind of new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the majority of the time is, okay, well, now we have to give players a new play experience. Not just adding down destinies or densities to power attrition. I mean,
we've done that.
We've done that. You know, and then we think of like, oh, and doing guys whose forfeit can't be reduced, can't bring Galen back, can't do that. Because I like games to end.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can't make a fixer again, because obviously fixer was just, spoiler alert, it was in another Star Wars property, but we can't make him. The old fixer was broken in that, when he would retrieve guys up Crash Site Memorial. Yeah. Can't do that.
I remember that.
As everyone likes to say, recursion is terrible in card games. So games need to end. But
I'll give you
a little bit of
recursion,
but not the you played for 30 minutes and nothing has happened recursion.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like the new Rey All the Jedi. Yeah, she retrieves your force, but you're still putting a card out of play. And it's not you picking, it's your opponent. So you have to pick the two cards, and then your opponent picks whatever is one that's going to be the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, the thematic element of that is, in episode 9, using her powers had downsides. She has a little bit of evil in her, and so that's things being placed out of play. But it's also to give you both making choices that materially affect the outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want, after you play the game, for you like, hey, I could have won that if I had made a different choice, as opposed to I lost in the deck building phase. I always hate that in card games when you're just kind of playing a simulation and you won or lost in the deck building phase, and there's nothing you could have done differently.
You just got rolled over with nothing, with no impact from you
at all. Like you were just a spectator. There's no point to that.
No. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I like this. I mean, we could talk design all day, I feel like, but we got to move on with a little bit more information regarding the show. Really quick, just some stuff to go over. We got a lot of stuff going on in the world of Star Wars CCG. The first one is the Outrider Cup is still going on. For those who are interested in watching it, we have a few games upcoming. This Friday, Bastion versus Jared Napolitano. And then Sunday, Crypto versus Desai, Hayes Hunter versus Hayes Hunter versus Silverglen. And then Monday, Tuesday, we got MHT versus Kieran and Joe versus Crypto. If just to keep everybody abreast on what's going on regarding the Outrider Cup, right now, Team Europe is still up 2-1. Timo and Kieran took down Hayes and Paul Myers respectively, and then Jared Napolitano took down Timo Dussel in what was Timo's last game, unless of course they tie and Timo gets to play again.
Yep.
And then again, we talked about this a little bit before as well. The top 8 of the Jawa Cup is going on right now. We have Jeffrey Levine, Kevin Yap, and Ryan Jelson all advancing. And then Jason Rendu and Cohen, I can't even pronounce Cohen's last name. I'm sorry, man. They have yet to play. Once we'll get that game streamed. I believe that they're going to be playing very soon, but I could be wrong about that. And then Batmouse PC is still going on. We have a few players who have made it into round 3. Brandon Beatty, Timo Dussel, and Justin Miyashiro have all made it into round 3. I know 2 out of 3 of us didn't make it out of round 1.
Yeah, I lost the big wings.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but
yeah. Hey, you know what? Misery loves company, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I lost the B wings. There's no, and it's partially my fault for designing helpers for in base anyway. So yeah, I have no one to blame but myself.
Yeah. I mean, we know what happened in my games. My games were streamed.
So last year I went out in the first round against someone who actually made it to like the top 4 in Winston. And so I take no shame in that one. And this year, my first round opponent was very good, lost home. We had great games. Our games were great. But I'm just very happy that I only have 1 game outstanding, and that was because of a communication error. So they're going to get a couple extra days, and I've already communicated to that to their next opponent. We did have some players have to duck out due to like just life stuff. But we're still on track pretty well. And you see people already moving into the 3rd round, the round of 32. That's very good.
No, it's a fun event. Like, if you can't go play the NPC, this is the next best thing. Speaking of which, the NPC is still scheduled for January 23rd or 21st and through 23rd. Please, if you are going, make sure that you read the COVID policy. It has been updated recently. Also, read up on the format and schedule adjustments. Also, coming up very soon, we have a few other events. We have the Indoor Grand Prix scheduled for April 8th through the 10th. We have the European Championship scheduled for September 9th through the 11th. And then World Championships in Atlanta, Georgia this year in October. Those are all going to be... I'm hoping to go to Indoor Grand Prix, and I'm hoping to go to Worlds, so...
Same.
And then also, the leagues are out there until January 31st, so if you want to sign up for those, please go ahead and do so. Prize kits will be available, and then we have a championships league that's going to be associated with it, so make sure you look out for that. It's going to be every other year, so if you win your league, you can go into the championship league. It's going to be every other year regarding the Outrider Cup, so that's kind of exciting.
I already bought SoCals. We're good to go. We're ready.
That's all that matters to me. At least until I move, obviously, but...
Right.
So, I think it's time we get into Swing and a Miss. I got 4 questions for everybody tonight. We're going to go through these. And then, we'll continue on with the show and everything. Yeah, league signups. For the organizer, have to sign up by January 31st. And then you can schedule your league events as you want. Thank you, Justin. Okay, first question for Swing and a Miss. So Jared's win over Timo, it is exactly what Team USA needs to come back and take the Outrider Cup. Start with Batmouse.
It's a hit. Maybe that momentum swung. You get that good juju going, and that's all you need sometimes. Sometimes it's about getting hot at the right moment, and so it's a hit for me.
Ryan?
Well, winning is better than losing. But the only thing is, in case I guess there's not another Agents of Black Sun, they won't forget about the Caesar's bounty on Leia. Like, they won't do that again. So I guess you know what though, it's probably winning the. We always felt that the OA was favored versus Agents of Black Sun. So winning your underdog match is that's a good way to come back.
Yeah. I still
the team or something. It's just I know Jared was very happy he didn't have as much space when we play tested that matchup. There's no holdo blowouts is really what happened in that game.
So I picked Europe to take down Team USA. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with what I said last week. And honestly, like, it was a really close game, and I think what happened was there was a lot of bad destiny between, at least with Timo. Timo just seemed to hit all the ones he wanted. Like,
he did terrible luck.
Yeah, he had insanely bad luck. I think Timo played it rather well, and I'll be honest, like, how do you really test against these Fombo weirdness that Timo runs? So...
Yeah, no, he had so many. How many Weeses and Fombas did he draw? A single one for Destiny?
Yeah.
Like, one maybe.
Yeah, he had like one, and I want to say it was canceled when he did.
Yeah, so out of those fives, and not a single one hit.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just bad luck.
But it happens. I mean, I think of it this way: like, Kieran was able to beat Paul Myers with Paul playing one of probably his baby, like his main deck in Diplo, with Agents of the Black Sun. So we're not going to see another Agents of the Black Sun, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
But Bastion hasn't played either of his games. I mean, neither has Desai, neither has Joe. Justin Branch hasn't played either of his games. So I still think it's anybody's match at this point. So, but I still think just by the way that the decks have come to, like how the decks and everything, I still want to give it to Europe by the slight. So, but we'll see. Okay, on to question number 2, and we're going to start with Ryan on this one.
Right.
Team Moneyball has shown that they have what it takes to be the next big team in Star Wars CCG.
I certainly hope so. I think, I think we did pretty well in the Jawa Cup. I think we did really well at Worlds. I mean, I put my usual 5-3. I think that's my 10th. I feel like it's my 10th 5-3 at Worlds. But and for me, it's my first time, besides having anybody besides Batman to even talk to about deck. It was just like, because it's the most important thing for me is to get all my bad ideas out of my bloodstream before I go to an event.
And he just gives those to me. So
yeah, I just give him the Batman. So.
And then I figure it out.
Yeah, you figured it. But that is because there's this drive to be creative, and sometimes like you just have to play community.
That's fair. I'm going to say miss, and my reason for saying miss is Moneyball is scared. Like, Moneyball, outside of Jared, you guys got 2 advocates. The advocate's curse is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like Moneyball is scared to team up with like certain other members of the group. But hey, this could be me reading like other things and everything. But personally, I know at Worlds, like outside of Joe, I know, let's see, Batmouse took home some glass, and Team Batmouse took home all the glass except for Joe. So.
No, I was second. It was
Team Killer B.
Yeah. So, but that's just my prerogative, my opinion. Bat Mouse, your turn.
I'm gonna go. It's a miss because I mean, Ryan Jellison is me and him are team keeper rolling forever.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Good point.
Team keeper rolling forever, and team keeper rolling took down the consolation tournament. So there's a lot of involvement with other stuff, but there are a lot of people that just coordinating around it lends to a lot more variation in who's going to be going on to events this year and doing things. But Joe is, Joe's team is good. Team Moneyball is very good. They've got Jay Knapp who's on a fire streak. They've got they've got Ryan Jellison.
Well, Adam.
Again, I know from that you're not going to go wrong having him in your corner.
No,
I know.
Like you said, you guys got Adam. Adam played really well. He went 6-0 in the Jawa Cup, and then, like I said, and no offense to Adam. Adam, you're a great guy. I love you, man. You became an advocate. Advocate curses are real.
Because
they're working on so many other things.
Advocate, right?
Huh?
Chris Kelly won a tournament as advocate, though.
We don't talk about that because it just that was a figment of my imagination.
We don't talk about Chris Kelly.
We don't talk about Chris Kelly unless he's
Kelly.
giving away spoilers or he's talking through Kendall. We don't talk about Chris Kelly because he's a good guy.
Right. And Chris Kelly's other name could be Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No.
Moving on. None of the popular Jawa decks will win the Jawa Cup. So just so people know, we actually have Adam actually sent me over some of the more popular decks through at least round 5. For Dark Side, Hunt Down, Core, ASM were the top 3 decks. And then for Light Side, Obi-Wan Commuting, No Idea, and Hoth CPV were the 3 main decks. Diplo also was tied with Hoth CPV. So,
I think there's an obvious miss because we had a new set come out. I mean,
that is cheating a little bit, but I mean, we had a new set come out, but
because that list doesn't include Legend, so
true.
Well, it's an obvious miss because we're sitting here with the guy who's going to win the Jawa Cup.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, that was good.
But,
that was good. I could see it because, I could see it, but like you said, we had a new set come out. Legend wasn't that popular. Some people did play it, but it wasn't, like you said, as popular. Set Your Course for Alderaan, another popular deck that received some boost.
Although Let Your Wiki win, or even just Skywalker Saga, there's a million different variations of Skywalker Saga that are possible.
Right.
That's a good
I'm
point.
surprised I haven't seen more because, General Leia retrieving 2 every time she battles is not bad.
General Leia retrieves 2?
Skywalker Saga. Every time a Skywalker initiates a battle, retreat, that's,
Yeah, I know, that's kind of money.
Thing.
Throw, let her die, send her to the Bacta tank, bring her back, retrieve 2 more. All the recursion, all of the time.
All the time. So,
Yeah, that's actually not bad. More recursion. Okay, we got one last question for the evening, and that question is, who do you got, Jason Rendu or Kellen? And this is towards you, Ryan, because you have a staking interest in this. Who do you want to see?
I haven't played either of them in person, from what I can tell. I look back over I have no memory of playing either of them, so it doesn't. So that there's one of the downsides of having 12 years worth of published deck lists, and then I don't really know either of them, so it's either one's fine. I probably won't choose decks based on my opponent anyway. I never do, so
choose what you're good with.
Yeah, or choose what I feel like playing at the time. So Yeah, I do waste an awful lot of time because I'm designed playing bad decks to understand why they're bad, so then I can design helpers for them. So, I mean, and then I ended up just taking agents in the court to world. So there you go.
That's fair.
The good thing about playing a deck people think is bad is they don't have a game plan for it, though.
Very true. Bill is saying that he is sad he didn't play Hunt Down V.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, Bill.
Maybe next year.
Okay, so that's all we get for Swing and a Miss. It is that time. I feel confident with this one. Ryan, are you ready for your lore challenge?
Sure.
Okay, again, as always, you're going to I'm going to give you the lore, and then you are going to be able to guess. I'm going to give you the hint of set or the type.
Okay.
Your lore, it's not over yet. Again, I can give you the set
Leia's,
or the type.
Give me the set.
Premiere.
Leia's back.
Damn. You're right.
Yeah.
See, I told you. I felt confident with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you thought you were gonna get me, or?
No. I felt confident, like you getting this because
Oh yeah.
you know your cards, like you know the weird cards.
Yeah. Too much sealed.
Lots of sealed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is what we have for tonight's show. Again, I want to thank Batmouse for coming on as the co-host, Ryan coming on as the special guest, talking a little bit about design, talking about the Jawa Cup and everything. It has been a pleasure as always. I heard you have a new baby. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So cute. That baby's so cute.
She's very cute.
Every time I talk to Batmouse, and he's like, "Yeah, Ryan's got a new kid. She's so cute, so cute."
Yeah, she's got the all the Star Wars outfits.
So
Reading all about porgs.
So here's the big question for you: are you going to be going to the indoor Grand Prix? Are you and the missus going to?
Depends. Yeah, we might have to take it down again, but it depends on what COVID is like, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the baby.
Yeah.
Especially with the baby.
Especially with the baby.
So yeah, I mean, we still play and tabletop and breaking out the Jedi loops, but it all depends on COVID for the team tournament in indoor.
That makes sense. Okay, everyone. Well, again, that was our show for this evening. Make sure you stay tuned to the PC for all the Outrider Cup action, as well as more action revolving around the Jawa Cup and the Gen PC. Until then, as always, I am Dan Taglian. We'll have more Holotheatre for you next week, and hopefully I'll see you guys this week, and we stream more Outrider Cups games. So good night, and take care, everybody.